So we are making good progress this morning. I went ahead, I got some of these blocks cut. We are gonna start installing some of the windows on the side so we get them out of our way. Window.
I need all the windows in.
So we got our second window here. I just finished the build out of the window frame. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one set in. We got this one in already over here. So yeah, that one goes there, and then the final one goes in the back. So I'm working on the back of the building now. I just went ahead and got this area boxed in for the window next to the back door. So I left a little bit of space here in between the door jamb and the window so that we can go ahead and fit in enough J-channel, because that's always kind of difficult actually being able to get that sliver in between the two. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more space there, but this will be a nice sized window to let in some light in the back room. So that window is just a hair smaller than those two. Those two are identical. This back one is just like 4 inches shorter than the other two. So it'll work good for this back room. The ceiling height in here is going to be 8 feet is what I determined. That gives just enough room here. So we got our wainscoting. That's going to go around the bottom, which is our black metal. And then we'll have our F&J channel that'll go here. And then there'll be a little bit of space in between, like maybe like 2 inches. And we'll have to do our J channel. So it's kind of going to be like a little sliver of gray in between. How this is all going to made up. All right, babe. So we went ahead and finished up getting the upper perimeter board fixed all the way up. So now that is 100% on. So I got all my marks up here made. So I'm going to go ahead and chop these 4 poles up here, and I'll chop those over there as well. And that way our trusses are able to sit where they need to sit without any obstruction in the middle here. The ones at the end we keep because that allows us to attach the end truss directly to it. And then anything that's sticking up above the truss, we just lop off. And then I got to go through and actually throw nails in through the entire structure of everything that I have up thus far, because I just like to attach everything with like 3.5-inch screws. And that allows me to kind of do this stuff pretty quickly, or remove it and adjust it in case I need to. Because in my opinion, if you nail everything in the beginning and you got to make a change, well, it's a whole lot harder to try to pry out nails than it is just to go ahead and unscrew stuff. So now that I have everything really well attached, I can just go back through and throw course of nails with a nail gun around everywhere. So that is my next plan. So now that I got all the tops of the poles cut that are in the center here, I'm working on this back section for the loft. I'm putting 4x6s in the corners. There's one there. I have one propped up over there. That will catch the 2x12s that I have here. I plan on doing 2 2x12s back here, a 2x12 on the side here for side support, and another one over here. And then using those long 16-foot LVLs that I have laying over there in the dirt. That'll go ahead and carry the whole front of the loft all the way over. And then I have additional poles here laying on the ground, which will be my opening for the double door to the RO room. And then there's that large glass window. The large glass window is going here. It's about 8 feet long. And then we'll have a pole, and then there'll be the double doors, and then there'll be another pole, and then there'll be the staircase with a door and then a wall. So that's kind of the layout of this long wall dividing the space. So I'm going to go ahead and get this other pole attached. I will throw lags and everything that's attached to these poles, structural wise. So this one here will get propped up and fastened in, and then we'll get more parts attached. So it's a new morning, and we're going to get started on getting the staircase cleaned up so that we can have it painted and hopefully have it installed possibly tomorrow. So let me show you. So here is the staircase. We got this one at the auction. I think we paid like, I don't know, 40 bucks for it. Looks a little weathered and a little haggard, but it should clean up pretty well. It is still very strong. Yeah, so we're gonna bring it over to the shop and either pressure wash it or sand it and get some exterior deck paint put on it. So brought this staircase over, and I got some of these boards tightened up. Went ahead and got rid of the one that was up top. That one was in rough shape, and replaced it with this new piece here. Went ahead and tightened up all of the stair treads, so they're all good. So it's pretty much back to being a sound staircase. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up, and we'll get some paint on it. So we got some of these 2x12s wrapped up and around for the top of the loft. We got the staircase all painted up. We did one coat of paint. I'll show you that in 1 minute. We're actually going to do another coat of paint here later today. But I'm in the process of getting some of these LVLs, structural beams, cut down to the right size. So these were repurposed. We got these at the auction. So they're still in good shape, still solid. So I got to join two of them together, splice them. There'll be a beam underneath these in order to support. But I'm cutting this one down to 8'9". I'm cutting that one down to 15, and that should allow the building to sit just where it's supposed to be. So I'm currently working on getting this board up here for the loft leveled out, that 2x12. It wraps around, so we have it basically three-sided right now. So I put up a string line with a little level on it. So it is level all the way across. So what I plan on doing for this is we're gonna cut these ends nice and flush, and then I plan on notching out the beam to go ahead and hold our LVLs. So I cut our LVLs already. This one here is already cut to size, and that one over there is the remainder. And then I have a piece over here that'll scab it together to connect the two, because both of them weren't long enough to span the whole width. So two of them will come together like that, and that'll be sitting on top of some load-bearing beams. But I wanted to recess the LVLs and notch them into the beam so that that load is well distributed down each beam. So I'm going to go ahead and start making some marks and get these cut on either side, and then we'll start chiseling out our area. So I just got this one all chiseled out. It's well notched. It's got plenty of space. So that will be a perfect little pocket for the LVL structural beam to go ahead and sit inside of. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side.
Now we're going to do a series of notches.
probably about the easiest way to go ahead and do it. Series of notches in a grid, bang out the blocks, and then go back, clean it all off with a chisel. So I just got this beam here spliced together. It is 24 feet long, so it is a good LVL. This will be a good structural support to be throwing in this particular spot on this building. So we've had it set aside for some time now. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get one side up into this notch here. So the beam will be sitting across here like that. And then I'll probably put a block at the end to try to keep it from popping out of the slot while I bring the board up and rest it into the other slot on the other side. And then get a couple of fasteners in it. And that should hold until I get the bottom wall framed in. So that's the next step. We'll see how smooth it goes. That actually took me about an hour to get this beam up by myself, but I took my time and we got it up. It's level, it's solid. I'm gonna put a lot more lags. I put two 6-inch lags in the sides, so that's okay for now, but I'll probably put another 2 in each side. And then we're gonna build that wall. It's gonna be underneath here, which will take most of the load of all the loft weight. I'm going to use actually 2 of these 6x6 by 16 foot long posts. We're going to notch them out the same way, and we're going to put them on either side for the doorway going through here. So that'll be part of the wall, and that'll take a lot of load. So it's all notched, ready to go. I'll go ahead and get this thing lifted up into place and put a couple of temporary screws into it and work on the next one. So I'm just about all set to go ahead and throw up the first truss up here. It's the end of the day, so I'm going to try to do one, and then maybe tomorrow I can get the rest of them on. But this little contraption we borrowed from our neighbor. This is like a boom that attaches, so it can attach up here for the normal excavator attachment, but I have my skid steer attachment on it right now. So it'll allow us to get that extra height that we need for setting trusses, which is super handy. So I went over and got all my layout done on each truss, on where my purlins are gonna land on the roof. So everything is marked out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the first truss, see if I can get it set by myself. So yesterday we went ahead and got that first truss up in the front of the building here. So now we're going to go ahead and start setting trusses going all the way towards the back. So I'm just going to be picking up one at a time. We have this little bracket that my neighbor gave us, which allows us to hold and center each one of the trusses. Makes it a little easier for one person to do this at a time. So I'll put one bracket, middle bracket on that side, one metal bracket on that side, while I'm holding the truss up in the air. So yesterday was pretty successful. We were able to get up all of the trusses. Everything went well. Didn't break anything, didn't drop anything, so that's always a plus. So the next step for the roof would be to get the purlins on to get everybody secure. They're all pretty secure right now for wind and that sort of thing for the next day or so. But we will hurry up and get all the purlins, which I have 2x12s or 2x4 by 12 foot long ones right over here on the skid. So we will get those up hopefully tomorrow. Today I'm going to focus on getting a couple of things out of the way. We're going to go ahead and remove all these bracings now that we don't need those anymore. All the walls are pretty solid with having the trusses on there, securing it this way and this way. So I'm going to get these things out of the way. So we took down all of our bracing, so everything is held pretty good. Working on this back section here, getting some of this area framed up for the window for the RO room. So built this sill here. The window is actually I think 5 feet tall, 8 foot wide. So this is the window area, this is the double door, and then we will have our other door right here, which that'll go up to the loft. So I just cut up some of our scraps of some of these poles. So we'll use these for underneath the sill, keep everything nice and strong. So I'm just doing them every 16 inches all the way down. So I'll go ahead and get those nailed in place and then start some of the frame up the side here, both sides. And we'll work on getting the window in. Safe and sound. So we brought the big window over. This window is going to be going in that spot that we made on the wall that separates the production room from the reverse osmosis room, where we'll have a couple of our bulk tanks and we'll have some of our stainless tables and cabinets set up in there. So this window we got at the auction, I think we only spent like $135 on this window this year. I think this is actually a window that would go in like a storefront window. So very excited to get this thing installed. It's been sitting outside for a little while, so it'll be nice to finally have it in its spot. So we're just clearing out some of the stuff out of our way, and then we're going to go ahead and put the window on top of a dolly and roll it over. All the rocks, so they didn't want my way.
Stop!
Alright. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I took down that 2x10 that we had going across here, and I'm gonna actually replace it with an LVL, this one that's over here in the corner, because this one's actually only 10 feet long. The spacing here is 10 feet. So the one I had up there for a 2x10 was actually 12 feet long. And for repurposing wise, it makes a whole lot more sense to go across here because that'll span it the full distance. And this one is a lot more structural and it'll help out above the window for a better header. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one placed in and we'll swap them out. So I decided this morning that I wanted to go ahead and put a beam, a steel beam up inside of the RO room in order to take that extra weight of the tank that's going to be up there. It's going to be the hopper tank. It's about a 300-gallon tank. So I wanted it to be able to hold all of that weight so that there isn't an issue ever in the future. So I have extra I-beams that are laying around. Now's a good time to go ahead and use them. So what I have here is a 17-foot long I-beam. It's a 6-inch I-beam. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing welded up, put some tabs on it, drill some holes, and we'll go ahead and get it painted and install it today. So here's the I-beam. I've actually had this I-beam sitting around for probably about 5 years. So I actually had it over at my other shop. I was gonna use it for a gantry, but it never got done. So here we are. So I got the holes drilled. I'm gonna go ahead and stick weld this thing. These are the tabs so that this is just like a cut off of one of the poles. So the pole will sit right in here. We'll drill a couple holes through it, carriage bolt it together. Now it'll be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these stick welded and wait till it cools down, and then we can go ahead, wire brush it and paint it. So just got everything painted up. Did 2 coats. This is some blue enamel, so that should hold up for quite a while. So once it's perfectly dried, then we'll go ahead and install it. So I'm doing some framing on this back wall here. I can show you what I did as far as getting these things notched. So I notched each one of these 4x6s in order to sit so that the load is directly in on these, so that you're not fastening from the outside, not fastening from out here and they're hanging. This way you have a little bird's mouth so it sits where it should. So each one of these fastened on the outside, sitting on the inside, so that the load is directly on the beams, how it should be. So I put this guy in. This guy will be part of the header. I'm gonna do lags, like 12-inch lags that'll go through the ends here, 2 on either side. So that'll sit and be super strong so that there's no points anywhere on this loft that things are freely hanging. So I have our beam down here, and our steel beam will rest on top of the 4x6, carry all the way over, and rest here. Because when we have that sap tank up there, it's gonna be sitting right about here. And the tank itself probably weighs 600 pounds. So it's a 300-gallon tank. So you're probably looking at a couple thousand pounds when it's all said and done. So this is the beam that we made yesterday. So it's got all our tabs welded on it. We painted it blue. So it's nice and clean for our new room. So I'm gonna lift it up and set it over here on the dolly for a minute. And we can go ahead and set it here and here and get it all bolted in. So this is what I'm gonna attempt. So put a couple of screws in this 2x right here. That'll keep the beam from rolling either way. Then where I have my tab that's welded onto the beam, where it's gonna be bolted through to this pole here, I put a 2x6, and that 2x6 is screwed onto here. So this thing can't slide back this way or it can't roll this way, but it does have room to slide up and over it. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can lift it up on top of this beam by myself. Almost. We'll get it. This is probably better. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh shit. Wow. Wow. Holy tolerance. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh. Freaking did. That's a heavy beam. We did it. It's up there. So now that we got the beam up and in position, we can go ahead and throw some lags in. I threw 2 lags over here. I got the beam centered in the room. So it's at 6 feet, splitting the distance because the room is 12 feet wide. So that'll carry the load of all of the joists for the upper floor. So I have some of these fasteners, wherever I put them, there they are. So it's like 4-inch long, 1/2-inch stainless steel lags. Put some lock washers on it. And yeah, these will be plenty good. Keep this thing staying in put for a long time. So that's the next. Perfect. This thing is the best. This thing really hammers them down. Good impact driver. Always necessary.
Jake is on the roof, putting the purlins across the trusses. There he is. But this week we got the window in, obviously, and the stairs and the beam.
So I just got back to the homestead and we picked up some more lumber. We got a bunch of 2x10s. We got a bunch of 2x6s over here. So I'm getting started on putting up some of these joists up into the RO room for the loft. So I got some of my joist hangers up here. Got about 5 of them on each side. So we're using 2x10s and we're going 16 on center for this loft. We got our beam in. Worked out really nicely. Should be able to take a whole lot of load for what we're going to put up there, which is going to be a 300-gallon refrigerated tank. So this thing's got to be pretty well built in order to hold all that weight. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep cutting these 2x10s and put them in place. So we got all of the joists for the loft in. So we put them 16 on center all the way down. So that's all solid in there. They're all bracketed. Everything lined up pretty well. So what I'm going to do actually now is I'm going to remove these 2 sets of purlins off the side. And I have a bunch of supplies on the forks of the excavator. I'm going to bring that around and then we can just lift it up right inside here. And I can start putting some of the plywood 3/4 decking down. Because what I need to do is actually, once I get the decking down, then I need to grab the bulk tank, the 300-gallon refrigerated tank, bring it in and set it up here because I'm not going to be able to bring it in here again once I have everything in place. So that's what I have to do next. So what I'm starting with this morning is getting these 2x10s wrapped up and around the inside portion of the trusses, right on the bottom of them. So you'll have your outside 2x10 and your inside 2x10, and they're all lagged in. Each one of these poles gets 3 4.5-inch lags, which will be plenty for this. So I already got 3 of them upstairs. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one up in a position and get it lagged into these 2 poles. Went ahead and got everything cleaned up. Got the work area straightened up, all the different scraps and stuff put away, and threw away a lot of stuff so I can actually work in here now, not trip over everything. So we're making some good progress. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to put a couple of these 4x4s, just blocks, up in the corners here. I'll put one up here and I'll put one over here, and that'll catch that 2x10 that's coming down this side and the other 2x10 that's coming down this side. And there'll be enough attachment because these are double 4x4s in the corners in order to attach the long 2x10 that goes along the face. So I've been working this morning on getting this end framed up. So I put this fascia board on all the way down, 2x6 on this end, and a 2x6 as my last purlin that goes all the way down. So this side is complete. I'm just finishing up the other side. So I got one set started over here. So what I did is I put a couple of blocks here and there, and I can go ahead and rest my 2x6. I'm using pressure treated 2x6s for the outer portion because I feel like those areas tend to weather more than the rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue that one down and then use my pine pressure treated one here, or pine board 2x6, and get it laid up along the top and then just continue down. So I got 4 more to go and it's all finished up. So this morning we went ahead and got this wrap put around the windows. This wrap is the sticky stuff we actually got at the auction. We got a bunch of it. I think we got like 10 rolls for like 10 bucks. So this stuff is super, super sticky, and it's supposed to help with leaking and drafts around the windows. So we went ahead and wrapped each window with it. It just has like this double-sided kind of tape. The stuff is very sticky, so if it folds over on itself, good luck trying to get it apart. But we went ahead, got this window, the big window wrapped, so this makes it a lot easier for when we're getting the paneling up. We can just go ahead and start putting our J-channel around the windows and don't have to actually caulk in between anything because we have this wrapping. So a little different than we did it in the past, but that's because we had this this wrapping. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the awning in the front of the building and figure out the pitch and the size that we're gonna go with. That is the last item before we get started on metalwork. So we have a lot of things staged. We have our cupola here. We're gonna go ahead and clean it, and I think we actually might set it all the way up on top of the roof and get that up out of the way and start. When we do start on metal, we'll work from the back over, and then we can just basically set that towards the back because it might be a lot easier just having it up there and work around it rather than trying to finagle it up on the roof in the end. Because I can take out one of those 2x4s, one of the purlins in the ceiling up in the loft, and then just carry it up and set it up there. So we got our double bubble over here for when we do start the insulation. We'll be doing the foam first, so we have a whole bunch of 1.5-inch insulation out there. So that'll be in first, and then we'll cover over it with the double bubble. And then in the future, we'll put white metal going up the whole inside of the building. So I am working on this whole structure in the front. So we got that window all wrapped there. So our awning will come right off the front here and come out. So it should be about, I think it's 7 feet long, and it'll come out. This is about 4 feet out for our form. So I just have to figure out the pitch that I want it at and then just start framing them up. So this is literally as primitive as it is. So I just put a 2x6 in here, just rested it inside here, just kind of jammed it up in the top. I can scribe a line on the side of the building. That'll give me my taper. And then what I'm going to do is screw a 2x4 on in this section here and have it come directly out. And then I'll scribe a line here, and then that'll give me my 2 tapers. And then I'll just replicate that one piece and start to form my little mini trusses. That'll create my awning for the front porch. So there you have it. I went ahead, screwed a 2x4 in on the inside, leveled the 2x4. So now I can scribe that line. I'll scribe that line, and then that'll give me my angle, of which I like, because now you can actually see it. You can see if it makes sense to you for your build. So for me, I like the way that this is tapered out. I like where it drops. So this will work. So now I can go ahead and adjust some things and start replicating it and building it. Went ahead and took the board down, got a line scribed here, got a line scribed down here. So I'll go ahead and get these cut and probably put it back up and double check it. So just finished building all 3 sets of my mini trusses here. And now I'm gonna go ahead and install them. They're all identical. So I already dry fitted my first template one, so I know that the other 2 are gonna work just fine. So I just completed getting up all of these little mini trusses up. I actually produced a 4th one. That way the spacing was pretty even all the way across, and it should be super, super strong for any snow load. So that would be this one here that I made real quick. So now I'll cut a bunch of pieces, little purlins, to go along the top and along the bottom here. So I just finished up the work on the awning. So I got the purlins attached. I did 4 of them. I may put a couple extra boards underneath in order to catch the soffit material. So that'll probably happen in the future. But at this point in the build, I'm 100% done. All of the woodworking, all the framing on the exterior portion of the sugar house. So now we're just waiting on metal. I'm hoping to have the metal in about a week, and it should take me about a week and a half in order to get all of the metal work complete on the exterior portion of the sugar house. So if you like the video, please thumbs up and subscribe. Stay tuned for part 3.